Right. Welcome, gentlemen. I can't keep up the British accent for very long. Uh, we've got the Bushmaster ACR today. I don't know how admin results does it. If you're a gamer, you know exactly what this is. The Bushmaster ACR. You guys all know this story. Modern Warfare 2. Fell in love with this bad boy. Let's get right into it. Tip to butt, we've got the Psycho Hybrid 46M on there in the short configuration with the flash hider end cap on there today. Moving backward, we have the Magpul MOE grip, not M-LOK. We'll get into that in a second. The Magpul MBUS Pro sights on there and the Vortex AMG UH1. So what is the Bushmaster ACR? Well, it is basically an AR-18 derivative, piston-driven 5.56 gun. ACR stands for Adaptive Combat Rifle. Originally, this gun was designed to be extremely modular, quick barrel swaps, different handguards, caliber swaps even. Unfortunately, it did not release with all that support, and it was a lot more expensive than it was supposed to be. So those are a few reasons why the ACR was not as successful as it could have been. Let's talk about ergos on this bad boy. Starting at the front, we've got a side charging handle. The magazine release is in the same spot as it would be on an AR, and the safety is the same as well. But the interesting part is the bolt catch, bolt hold open. It's right at the bottom of the trigger guard here. Sort of like a bad lever if you're familiar with one of those, but no ping pong paddle on the side. This gun is completely ambi. You can swap the side that the charging handle's on, safety's on both sides, mag release is on both sides, and bolt catch is on both sides. So for me, that's pretty sweet. All right, fellas, you know what time it is. We do it in every video, 1R1. If I do this in under 3 seconds, you gotta subscribe. You don't have to subscribe. That was $5.92. So the trigger on this bad boy is just a mil-spec trigger. I can ghost it for you. It is clear. Reset. Just like any other mil-spec trigger. Nothing special. Geisley does make an ACR trigger still, I think. So if you're into that. I've heard a lot of people sort of complain about the safety on this guy. Like they say that it's kind of mushy and it's not super like positive retention, but mine does not have that problem. I also think that this rifle was originally maybe a California compliant rifle. It does have the fixed stock. Unfortunately, I don't have the cool ACR stock. And then also the magazine release is real weird. It's like the thing where you can't remove the mag unless you pull apart the receivers. But I just there's one little Allen screw in there that I pulled out, and it works like a normal magazine release, except it's left-handed only. So other than that though, pretty sweet. Let's talk about the lore of this specific ACR. Kind of a cool story, actually. I walked into my local gun shop about 6 years ago and saw this bad boy sitting on the consignment shelf. And I was like, oh my God, it's an ACR. And I asked to look at it. They pull it off the shelf and it's $2,500, which was not in my price range, for sure. So I kind of just forgot about it. Later, I ended up working at that same gun store. and in the gun room in the back, this ACR was still in there. Turns out it was abandoned by the person that was trying to sell it. They put it up for consignment and then never answered their phone, no emails, nobody could get a hold of them. They never came back for it, and it never sold. Well, it had a couple flukes, I guess, a couple quirks. I mentioned the magazine release earlier. Previously, we thought it was just broken, and we just needed a magazine release replacement. But I'm pretty sure it was just the like California compliant type thing. And then it was also missing this little guy right here, the gas regulator. Now, ACRs are no longer in production, so new parts aren't being made for them, at least by the OEM manufacturer or any big gun company. But shout out to Dana at Templar Precision, because right after I got this, he started making these. The only guy anywhere making them. So fortunately, I was able to get one of those, but kind of jumped the gun a little bit there. I ended up getting this because it was deemed abandoned. I ended up getting this, and it was broken, missing pieces. I got this rifle for free. So very cool story, and it was already set up as left-handed. So almost serendipitous, one might say. I was meant to have this rifle, but it was a bit of a journey to get it working. I had it for like 6-7 months before I was able to get the gas regulator. So just been a journey, and I am so stoked to finally have one of these. Speaking of the gas regulator, it does have 2 settings, suppressed and unsuppressed. On the top here, there's a U for unsuppressed and an S for suppressed. I do not have a ton of rounds for this guy. I just got that gas regulator in, but on the suppressed setting with a suppressor on it, obviously, it is the softest recoiling 5.56 I've ever shot, actually. Super smooth. Right when I first shot it, the first round through it, it had a few cycling issues, but running it today and a couple times before that, it hasn't really had those problems. On the unsuppressed setting, though, it's punchy. It's like any other piston gun, a little overgassed, and you feel it. I'd say it probably recoils more than like my MCX, my 16-inch 5.56 MCX, but it is a little bit lighter than that too. It's mostly polymer. The lower is polymer, handguard's polymer, stock is polymer. The only metal parts are like the upper receiver, barrel, and bolt and everything. So that being said, it's still heavier than a DI AR. I want to see that because that was a lot of malfunction